adventures. And we are today at the Neutral Zone Studios in Kingsland, Georgia. And I'm in the transporter room of a Constitution class starship, or at least it sure looks like one. Man, it even sounds like one. I got to tell you, it's an amazing experience here in Kingsland. They have recreated the entire original Starfleet set, Star Trek set from the 1960s. And this includes the bridge, the engineering deck, and of course, the transporter room. And they have an open house once a month where people can just come in and shoot videos, take pictures, sit in the captain's chair, and it's really a cool time. And so we're trying to get the word out for them, to let people know what they do here, because this is a really cool place and it's completely nonprofit. And it's what they're basically doing here is they're trying to keep the original series alive. And they have open houses once a month for 2 days where you can come in and spend the day here in the sets and see what it's like to spend a few hours inside a Constitution class starship. And the neat thing about this is all like the original sets were. They are all connected together, with the exception of the bridge. They were all connected together on the Desilu set. And that way, when you walked out of engineering, you walked into the round hallway. Well, that's the same round hallway that every other room you visit is on, even though you're technically on a ship that has 400 rooms or something on it. And that was how they kept the illusion. They would change the plaque next to the door, or change the color of the door, or change the location of the door. Each of the panels would fit together like Legos. And it was really cool how they shot everything. And this set up kind of the same way. They can move walls around here. They can set this set up for all kinds of different things. They've got a conference room, which I'm going to show you here in just a little while. And you can go to the conference room and use that as a conference room set if you want. But then if you need a break room, they have the tables to make that into the Enterprise break room. They have the auxiliary control. They even have the brick, an elevator, one of what they call turbolifts, and what a really cool thing. You come here and the entire set is operational. It's running. The buttons are lit up, the lights are blinking, the screens are active with activity, and you hear the sounds that you would hear on the original series of Star Trek, or in the fan series Star Trek Continues. And if you haven't checked out fan series, I would do that. This is what this set was originally built for. It was built for fan series. And one of those series was Star Trek Continues with Vic Mignogna. And it's 11 full-length episodes. Some of them are over an hour long. And they're made in the same format and the same with like the suspenseful commercial breaks that you would expect in the 60s. It was completely shot and made in the 60s style, in 60s format, on these sets that look perfect. And those 11 episodes, in my mind, are canon. They are absolutely canon. They are just every bit as good as the original. And I'm so happy to have those to add to my list of what I have available for me to watch. That is Star Trek. Star Trek is just such an amazing franchise. I mean, it starts with they shot The Cage in '65, and The Cage was a great pilot, but nobody bought it. And the network gave them another shot and bought a second pilot. How often does that happen? The network put it on, and this time they hired Bill Shatner to be the captain. And this one worked. The network bought it, and we have the original series, which began to air in the '66, and then it went through '69. Those 3 seasons of television, I mean, look, the 3rd season almost didn't happen if it wasn't for letter writing campaigns and crazy stuff that was done by fans and by people that loved the show. This show may not have ever survived into syndication because, as you know, a 2-season show generally will not be syndicated and only be seen in rare places on TV, what we still call TV. And so what's great about it is they got that 3rd season, and although the 3rd season's the weakest of the 3 seasons, in my opinion, it's still good TV. with maybe one episode as an exception. And we'll talk about that sometime. I'm going to do a best and worst eventually of my Star Trek episodes. But we'll see how it goes. We're going to be here all weekend, and we're going to be broadcasting both like this and doing shorts. And we're also going to produce a few videos out of this too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to go get my red shirt on here in a little while and see if I survive the weekend. But we'll see how it goes. You guys, I got to tell you, this is a fun time up here. If you've never been to a television set ever, this will be really special. But even if you've been to a bunch of those, this is great. If you are a big fan of the original series, this is an amazing place to come and check out. And I'll tell you what, before we go, I'll give you a little tour of this part of the set. I'm gonna do it in parts, but this is the transporter room. And I want to tell you a few things about this room, take you on a little tour of this room. The lighting is a little low in here, but just bear with me on that. We'll do our best. But I'm going to take you on just a little tour of the room. You can see there, this is the transporter pads. These lights that you see here, where you actually stand on the transporter pads, those are actually lenses off of studio lights. And that's what they used in the original series. They used the same exact thing. They used diffractor lenses off of the front of the lenses. Now, off the front of studio lighting. They had like 1,000-watt studio lights in these. Now, this back here, this wall you see back here, this is backlit by green lights, obviously. You can see that, and I'll show you the back of that in a minute. But what you see here is the same material that they put on the outside of bass drums. When you see bass drums with like that pearl finish around the outside, believe it or not, that's this material. And it works perfectly to give you that same effect that they had in the original series, because I believe it was made the same way then. And the lights in the back can change colors. So when there's a transporting person, the set actually, those lights back there will flicker and change colors. And do things like that. And you can see here, the walls are purple, and they were purple in the original series, and a lot of people didn't realize that. Wow, this camera's doing pretty good in the low light. This is the little auxiliary panel in the back where you would see them like searching for someone to beam up in several of the episodes. And there's even the screen where in a number of episodes they would put up something there. If you remember in the episode with Gary 7, where they went back in time, they were using this screen to look for Gary 7 on the outside of the rocket that was about to launch. And here it is. Here's the main console. A little piece of trivia. In the first few episodes of Star Trek, this wasn't here yet. It hadn't been built yet. And if you look really closely, you can tell that it's actually the helm console sitting on a 12-inch block. It's not actually this console. Then they built this console after a couple of episodes, and then we've got this now. And of course, this is the recreation here at Neutral Zone Studios. That's neutralzonestudios.com. It's a nonprofit organization, and we've all paid a donation to come in today and spend the day here. And they don't ask for much. I think it's $20 a person. And there you go. You can come right over. They let you come right up, and you can even work the controls. They let you beam somebody right up right there and beam somebody down. There's, everything's here. You can see they got the little comm panel, the little lights that blink when something starts to go wrong. There's a yellow one and a red one. And when they would start beeping, people would start sweating because they might lose somebody in the transporter. And there you go. And they pay very close attention to the details here. That picture was in season 1 and 2, but it was missing in season 3. Look for it. Next time you look at the original series, when they go in the transporter room, you'll see that picture with those same 2 lines. They've had this thing completely recreated exactly like it was. Here's another one. Did you ever notice that there was an old little comm panel up here in the corner? Most people don't notice that, but it's there. And where did that come from? Well, if you guys remember the first 2 pilots, they had those comms that were on like snorkel necks on their panels, and they would use those. Well, after that, they reused these comms that Gene Roddenberry came up with after he saw the design in the 1964-65 World's Fair in New York. He saw the design of the new telephone, visual telephone, and he made a smaller version of it. And there it is right there. And they used it in this version to be like the recorder, to record incidents or whatever in here, I assume. But anyway, there you go. And we'll just go out in the hallway just a little bit. We'll go right out the doorway here. There we go. And there, look at that. Is that not just like the original series? You're walking down at the end of the hallway. Remember that? Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And the panels, the red alert lights, everything very, very authentic looking, and just absolutely amazing. You know, we can sound the red alert right here, or we can just call the bridge. If we think that might be better, we'll just call the bridge. We won't do the whole red alert thing. That's quite a bit. And then just give you just a little touch here. I just want to take a look here and show you this. This is the backstage, and here's the lights you were just looking at. Those are the lights behind, and then there's everything for the lighting effects and everything all back there. Is that not cool? That is so cool how that works. And then, hey, all right, so then we're back. This is, like I said, the transporter room. There's your sign right there. And this basically is the entire set here is working. It's lit up. All the lights are working. All the buttons are working. And it's a really cool thing to come look at, to come see, because it's just an amazing thing. I want to tell you about one more thing. When you're walking around, this is the hallway, and we're going to spend a lot of time in the hallway today. But this hallway is just like it was in the original Desilu studio. You look down that way, and that would lead into another room. It might be, it might lead you into whatever, but there would be whatever they would put at the end there. And then here, this is sickbay, which we're going to go into in just a little while. And then down the hall, look at this. You look down the hall, and there is, this hallway stretches all the way around. It's over 100 feet long. And so you can shoot shots in nearly every angle that you need to shoot from this one hallway and never actually see backstage. Isn't that amazing? And I want to tell you one more thing. These things, what are they? Well, they got them out of dumpsters. This is styrofoam. It's literally a piece of styrofoam. And what they do is they'll find whatever looks cool, whatever looks like it could be futuristic and mechanical, and they make it and they stick it on the wall. Do you know what these are called? They got a really clever name. All these things. Look at this. This is simply just a some pieces of plastic that looks like they might have been part of a brush assembly or something. They stick them on this panel, they paint it black, and they stick it on the wall with Velcro or sticky tape or whatever. These are called plantons. Yes, plantons. If you need one, you plant it on the wall. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, they call them plantons. And they would take these and they would hang them around. They did the same thing with these. Dr. Leonard McCoy. They did the same thing with these. What they would do is these come off, and if this needed to be another quarters or another whatever, they would just stick it on there, and that's what that is now. And that's how they made a starship that had 400 or 500 rooms and all these decks and all these 400 people living on it. That's how they made it all with like 9 rooms and a hallway, 7 rooms and a hallway. Absolutely amazing. And even the lighting panels and everything, backlit, very authentic. These buttons look almost identical to what we had in the original series. And so that's amazing how close they were able to come with this. And normally on the end of the hallway here, you would have a turbo lift, but this actually is the way you come into the studio. Okay, this is the turbo lift, and that's engineering in there, and we're going to do that later. But this is where you come in to the studio, And these are all the signatures of people who have visited the studio, who have had some part in Star Wars or Star Trek over the years. Oh my God, I said Star Wars. That's two demerits. That's two demerits. I don't even much like Star Wars, truth is. Anyway, that's going to do it. I'm going to show you, we're going to do sick bay here in just a little while, and I'm going to show you Kirk's quarters. Here's another one of those plantons that I told you about. Really cool. These, they make them out of whatever. This one looks like it's probably styrofoam, and they literally are hung like photos on a wall. And when you look down the hall, let's say someone was running down this hallway. There was a number of episodes where they were chasing people down the hallway. What they would do is they would chase them down the hallway. The camera would run down the hallway after them. And then after that, they would change all the plantons and change all the markings on the doors and have them run back down the same hallway again. And now they're on deck 6. And now they're on deck 7. Everything was ambiguous. Like, they didn't walk into the transporter room. They walked into transporter room 4. And they did that because you never knew. On the ship, there was multiples of everything. Even the engineering room kind of leads to the fact that there might be another engineering room. So everything was done that way on purpose to give you, the viewer, the impression that this was a large ship with hundreds and hundreds of rooms instead of what it is, which was basically about 8 or 9 rooms in a round hallway. So there you go. This was an amazing thing. And this is an amazing place here, this studio. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go now. And I'm going to come back in just a little while. And we're going to do a tour of another part of the studio. I'll be back in about an hour. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. This is Starship Adventures. My name's Ian. I'm here with my wife, Carlotta, and on behalf of myself and my co-host, Joseph, thanks for listening and thanks for watching. And we hope to see you on our future broadcasts where you never know what we're going to be talking about. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you in just a little while.